All right, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let There Be Talk. It is a Tuesday. What is the date here? Let me look real quick. The 14th of November. The podcast is a day late due to a long day of travel and a long week out on the road. A long, great week actually. But you get home and you're just like, "Fuck, I gotta lay down." That's been my that's been my saying for the last year. Fuck, I gotta lay down. Anyway, welcome to Let There Be Talk. It is a solo episode, and it is brought to you by Standard and Strange, my one-stop denim, leather, and boot shop located in New York, Berkeley slash Oakland, and New Mexico. You can find them at standardandstrange.com or on their Instagram, Standard and Strange. Go see Neil and Jeremy. Pick yourself up some denim, like some Momotaro denim, which I wear. I love Momotaro. Real McCoys, some Buco leathers, some John Lofgren boots. This place, I was just in it again in New York, and every time I go, it fully blows my mind at the selection that they have there. It's all of the finest Japanese clothing in one shop. It's perfect. It is absolutely perfect, and the owners are kick-ass. So anyway, standardandstrange.com, my sponsor. Let's get into the episode. So much to talk about today. Just got off what we're winding down the last leg of the Bill Burr Arena Tour, which seems to have been about maybe a little over a year. I can't really remember when it started. It seems to me I remember we were out doing some arenas, then he did Red Rocks and shot a special, took some time off, and then started back up in the arenas. And here we are coming down to the last show this week at the MGM Arena in Las Vegas for the Formula One race. So that'll be the last date of the arena tour, but I'll still be touring. I'll be doing Irvine Improv on December 20th. I'll also be doing a bunch of shows around Los Angeles at Comedy Store. And then I got some 2024 dates early coming up. So Fort Collins, Colorado, again at the Comedy Fort, one of my favorite clubs on the planet. And a bunch of other stuff. So anyway, this is the wind down. We just got off that week run that led up to the legendary Madison Square Garden. The first date was in Norfolk, Virginia. Fantastic arena. It was a smaller arena, held about 9,100, I believe. And architecturally, it was just beautiful. It looked like a spaceship from Close Encounters. Real beautiful building. And it was the first building that Dr. J played a professional basketball game in on the ABA. Remember that? There used to be the NBA and there's the ABA back in the old days. ABA had that badass red, white, and blue ball. And Dr. J being one of my all-time favorite players. I mean, the Dr. J Converse to me is still the holy grail over any sneaker. And they reissued them a couple of years ago, and I didn't buy a pair, actually. I could find them. Bill got some, but I didn't want to buy them without trying them on, and they were in no stores. You could get them on the website. I could send them back. It was like, fuck, and then they were disappeared. That shoe to me, you can Google it. The Dr. J Converse is just the ultimate 70s sneaker with the star and the fucking divided by sign, or not divided by, what is it? Whatever the fucking logo, the logo. Anyway, Norfolk, great. Went into a killer skateboard shop called Cardinal Skate Shop. It was funny. I walked in there once in a while. I get a little street glory, and it's amazing to me when it happens. I'm just kind of like, oh, wow. But I walked in this skate shop, and I'm looking around, And I just love going into skateboard shops as a 57-year-old man and just relive memories in my mind. Like, oh yeah, Dogtown. Oh, Empire skate park where I used to go ride my bike and skateboard, and the concrete wave in LA, and just all of that OP shorts and Vans sneakers and the whole fucking thing of BMX and skating. The 70s, that late 70s, skating's wilder than ever, of course, from Tony Hawk on. But I was talking to the owner there. First of all, I go, hey, do you got a bathroom? And he goes, hey, are you Dean Del Rey? And I go, yeah. He goes, oh man, I love your podcast. And then I was like, oh, thank you. Fucking once in a while it happens, man. It makes you I think it pushes you back in the game whenever you're feeling a little down. But anyway, he had a badass skate shop, and we started talking. We were talking about just how in those late 70s, Dwayne Peters, all the skaters back then, the Dogtown guys, Tony Alva, all that stuff. And it's just, so different now compared to back then, because there's so much money and the X Games and all that. But back then, Glenn E. Friedman took some of the greatest photos of that era of just, it's just dirtbag, skateboard, and nothing else. Skateboard or bike, that was your freedom. That was your freedom. Anyway, so Norfolk was fantastic. That's where we started. Cruised around the town, had a coffee. Great audience, amazing audience, actually. The whole run was unbelievable. The next night was Atlanta, Georgia, and I was really excited for this because Marcus King Band had a night off, and they were going to come to the show. And I was just fired up for Marcus to finally see me do stand-up comedy in a comedy atmosphere, because he'd only seen me from Instagram clips or opening for him, which was a hit or miss kind of run. So, and also he was really getting ready in his mind to hit the stage. So it wasn't like he was always just out there watching me do comedy, which I still label combat comedy. Fucking just fist up. Oh yeah, fuck you guys. Combat comedy that really got me probably prepared for this long year of arena runs, Anyway, so Marcus came down with Drew Smithers, and a few of the other guys, the horn players, and Jason, our great bus driver. And they came down and they got to watch some fucking ninja comedy by Burr. Marcus loves Burr. And somebody asked me, does Burr get recognized when you guys are out walking around? And I said, I get surprised when he doesn't get recognized. So we spent the evening with Marcus and the guys. And after the show, everybody was smoking cigars. I was just hanging out. We were laughing, reliving the tour that Marcus and I did, telling stories and shit, bus fires and all kinds of, people. Oh, which by the way, somebody went down during the Atlanta show and we don't know. Somebody said stroke, like Bill had like 2 minutes left. And all of a sudden people were like, help. And I was like, fuck, I've been here before. Because on the Marcus tour, 3 people went down in different cities. So we all jumped up to see what was going on. And I believe the person is fine. But it really, it was this really weird section of the show. There was only a couple minutes left. So then Bill was like, shit, I can't leave on that. And so he stayed up there another 15 or so and told some funny stories. And then we got out of there and then we all went and hung out. And then the next morning we flew to Hollywood, Florida. And that was a little grim for me. It was the first time being back in Florida since my mom had passed. And all I kept thinking about was fuck, I wish she could be here or the Garden, you know. And it's coming up on a year almost. She passed away on January 2nd. It was really a rough kind of morning for me. I was trying to get that out of my head, just to get ready for the show. But I know she was there. I know she was there. I know she was at the Garden, and I miss her every day. But I also thank her every day for letting me just, seek out a life in the arts with no pressure of like, what are you going to do for your life? You're going to play fucking rock and roll all your life? You're not going to fucking, you're going to be fucking poor and rare. My mom wasn't like that. She was like, get out there and do it. Do whatever you can. Enjoy life. You're only here once. And man, is she right. Did the Hollywood, Florida. It was the Hard Rock. And fuck, man, it's a nice venue. It's kind of about a 5,500 seat theater-esque kind of arena. And some great bands have played there. Huge bands have played there to like announce tours, like the Stones. The Stones played there not too long ago. Unreal to see the Stones in a place like that. And then Motley Crue, Def Leppard played there. Guns N' Roses has played there. This is a small venue for stadium bands. So great crowd too. I was pushing them a little bit. I was pushing the hats. It was fun. Did that show, flew to New York. Got to New York. We were there Friday, and the show was Friday night at the Garden. And I think it's going to take a long time to take in what I experienced that night at the Garden. It was absolutely perfect. Dice did a 15-minute set, a surprise pop-in. I knew Dice was doing it for months, but didn't say anything. Dice did a surprise set, and also Dice is doing Carnegie Hall. He announced yesterday. So Dice is in the middle of his, I wouldn't really say comeback tour. He's just been building it, I think, ever since Entourage, really. When he, the story is that I read, and I should have asked him if it was real. I'm sure it was, but he's in this coffee bean, and the creator of, or not the creator, the assistant of the creator for Entourage came in and said, oh, my boss is a huge Dice fan. You got to meet him. Met him. They put him in one of the seasons of Entourage, and then he did the Star is Born, played Gaga's dad, which is awesome. And he's been doing all kinds of stuff ever since. He's doing the Will Turn. And, Bill and I are at that age where we remember the mighty Andrew Dice Clay was the powerhouse in the 80s. Him and Sam Kinison were the rock and roll comedians. And they got their shot on that Rodney Dangerfield, I think it was HBO special. And careers exploded from that. And that's a great, it reminds me of Bill giving back to all kinds of comedians. Rodney set that up to where he put new comedians on and gave them their shot. And Bill has done that for a lot of people, including his film Old Dads. There's tons of comedians in that. And having people like myself open for him on arena tours, and that Bill Burr Presents Netflix special. So, there's people that give back to the community, and those people are just gold to art. There's other people that get famous and they just fucking move on and forget about the people they were roaming with. Not Bill, not Adam Sandler, not Dave Chappelle. There's people out there that just bring people with them. And thank God for those humans. So anyway, Dice popped up there and rocked it. And then the mighty Burr. The audience was electric. And I will tell you this right now. Thank God that we did that run of arenas, because I was not nervous at all. Because once you're inside the Garden, yes, I'm in Madison Square Garden, but I was able to get rid of that out of my mind and just go, this looks similar to some arenas we've been doing all year. And I was ready. If I had done, say, the Comedy Store and then had a couple nights off and then had to go do the Garden, it would have been a different story. But we had just done three not stadiums, arenas in a row. So I was ready. And the only tricky part was, I usually do like 20, 25 with Bill. I was only doing 10 minutes. So now the trick comes down to shortening your set and figuring out the thread and figuring out exactly how you want it to go. And that is an art. Like I said before, when I did Conan, it's fucking hard to find the perfect 5-minute flow. I've seen people just do it to perfection. Al Madrigal comes to mind when he did Conan and did the day labor set. That's perfection right there of a 5-minute set. You can do it different ways. There's people that just do like joke, 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 joke. And then there's people that do it where it's like this topic, and this topic. And the way I wanted to do it was I start here and I just take you kind of on a little mini ride of who I am, And, the set couldn't have gone better. I felt just that one in the LA Forum and Red Rocks are three of the greatest nights of my life, hands down. There's nothing better than those three. Besides getting passed at the Comedy Store, nothing better. The Garden was electric, and I really barely remember it because it was just like skydiving. I got up there. It was the crowd was roaring, and it was awesome. And then they had a great after party for Bill. And we all went over there and hung out. Steve-O was there. Oh, Jason Momoa was in the house. Jason Momoa has been everywhere lately. Every time I open Instagram, oh, Jason Momoa in London. Oh, here he is in Japan making a leather jacket. Here he is, got a vodka out with my good friend Blaine from Maidworn. Here he is at Metallica. Here he is at Slayer. Here he is at Bill Burr. Here he is at upstate New York at some punk rock show. This guy is living it. I fucking love it, man. Hats off to that fucking guy. Traveling around, enjoying life, and making people smile and feel good. He's out there, meeting fans and shit. Fucking amazing. So he was there. Who else was there? Moon Zappa and Amit Zappa, some friends of mine. Great. I invited them to the party and we hung out and talked. Lots of comedians and a lot of kind words hit my Instagram, and it just fucking made me feel good to just be part of that comedy family. Great night. Then woke up the next day in New York and finally got to go see the Jaws play. I got to get the name of it here. I know the name of it, but I don't want to fuck it up because the shark is broken, which is the reason I want to look at the name, because when I was young, there's a couple books out. There was the Jaws log, which was basically kind of the logs from the shoot. There was The Shark is Still Broken as the documentary. And this was The Shark is Broken. And it was wrote by Robert Shaw's son, Ian Shaw. And it stars Ian Shaw, Alex Brightman as Richard Dreyfuss, who is genius, and Colin Donnell as Roy Schneider. And they all three smoked it. The set was unbelievable. And I'll give you a little premise of what the play is. The play, if you are a Jaws addict like myself, and there's millions and millions of Jaws addicts out there, it was really the first film that taught me about high art and filmmaking, because I was very young. My dad dropped me off at the theater in 1975, a summer. And he just basically said, yeah, I heard this one's good. Go check it out. I got to run some errands. It's basically maybe his way of like, getting rid of me for a couple hours so he could go out and maybe look at chicks or something. I don't know. But he didn't go see it with me. And there was a line around the fucking corner. Now, I had not seen a line for a movie ever. And they do say that Jaws was the first creation of the quote unquote blockbuster. Dick Zanuck and that whole crew had created the blockbuster, meaning the summer smasher, the movie that everyone must see. It goes like Jaws, I remember, and then it's like Star Wars, these blockbusters. So, my dad dropped me off to see that film, and I remember just like, wow, why are so many people here? I'd never seen that. And then I saw the film and it changed my life. So if you are a Jaws addict, like I said, all the behind the scenes drama, all the stuff about the shark breaking, all of the stuff about the salt water ruining the shark and the tension between Richard Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw and all of that. Which, by the way, recently Dreyfuss went to see the play. He's the only surviving cast member from Jaws, the three guys. The other two passed away. He went to see it. He was crying. They made me look like a fucking dick. They made me look like a fool. They played me. He's complaining, but he still took a shot with the fucking cast. I was like, you must not have been that mad. If somebody was fucking shitting on me, I wouldn't go back and take a picture of him if I was mad, picture with him. But I had heard that, Dreyfuss over the years is kind of a diva and a whack. And, in his way, he's like, I'll complain and that'll get me out in the press. I haven't been in the press in a couple of years. So I will tell you this. They basically nailed it. It's a story about the behind the scenes kind of tension and bonding and friendship that was going on while the fucking shark was broken. They would just sit on this boat called the Orca and wait and wait and wait and wait for scenes to be set up and shot. And sometimes it would be 8-10 hours. And in that time, Robert Shaw would do some boozing and he would unleash a little bit of fury on Dreyfuss, a little bit of ribbon, a little bit of poking. And also you have fucking Roy, who is there to kind of be the middleman of like, hey, quit fucking around. So they wrote this play about what probably was going on behind the scenes. And it's loaded with amazing dialogue and funny ass jokes. Ian killed it with these jokes. He wrote the play with another guy, and the dialogue is fantastic. And the set is mind boggling. It's just the boat cut in half, and you can see him sitting down in the boat, the exact position of that famous scene of when Quint gives the speech about being in, delivering the bomb, and the Japanese submarine shoots a missile into their boat and it goes into the water and they're floating, waiting to be saved. And while they're waiting, sharks are eating these Navy guys. So, that scene, well, that's where they're at in the boat for the play. It's about 95 minutes and it is a masterpiece. And wish I could see it one more time, like in the front row. I was in the third row, but I got those fucking fried ears, those Del Rey needs hearing aid ears. And some of the stuff was like, huh? What? There was a funny scene. This was funny to me. There's a funny scene where Roy is obsessed with getting suntan. And there's this kind of like 1 minute scene where he strips down to his Speedo and gets outside of the boat. And it's like 1 minute, and the guy's body is fucking just perfect, like a Ken doll. And you didn't need the scene, but it almost seemed to me like he's like, hey, man, I've been working out a lot. Can you think I could just show off this physique in case there's any, anyone that might want to meet me, hook up with me? Maybe he's single. He's like, I could just show off my body. It was fucking, the scene was hilarious. Like, what is this? It's literally 1 minute. The shark's broken. He goes, I'm going to catch a little sun, and just strips down to a Speedo. And he's there for about a minute smoking a cigarette. And then they go, shark is working. And he's got to put his clothes back on. I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. A scene where you get to see a almost naked man, perfect physique in his late 40s. I'm sure there's some straight dudes in there that were just like, oh man, I don't need that scene, man. Oh man. Oh, I love it. Anyway, oh my God, thumbs up to this Jaws play. And I can't wait. Quentin Tarantino has redone another historic movie theater in LA, and it's in my neighborhood. And I cannot wait to go see Jaws, which I do once a year. I go see it in the theater, and it never gets old. But I can't wait to go see Jaws in Tarantino's new theater, the Vista or the Vista, whatever. I call it the Vista. And it opened this week, and I'm fired up to get in there. I'm going to go see Napoleon in there. Oh, which, by the way, on my flight home, I saw this movie, the BlackBerry movie. And I will tell you, man, I miss the BlackBerry. I hate fucking touchscreen. The Apple phone's good for everything like music and recording my sets and emails and everything, but I cannot still stand a fucking touch screen. And this BlackBerry movie really took me back when I first started working for the Stones, and we were in Europe. T-Mobile was sponsoring the tour, and they gave us all BlackBerries. And at the time, I didn't even know what it was. And they're like, this is great. You can do a pin, that's what it was called, right? A pin. You can message each other back and forth without being charged. Because back in the day, you used to get charged for text messaging. Remember that? Fuck. Unbelievable. So I got the BlackBerry, and then we could communicate with each other in the arena where, like, hey, I'm backstage, stage right. Where are you? Hey, meet me over here by the bus or whatever. And it was the ultimate communicator, and it became a full fucking game changer in life. It was the first true smartphone that people were addicted to. And it was probably the downfall of the human race. That's when it started with the BlackBerry, because we are way worse off with our phones, unfortunately, and we can't live without them. It's a full goddamn addiction. And I've said it a million times, if I wasn't in the entertainment business, I would not have social media. I would not have a smartphone. I would just have a flip phone, and I'd go back to my simple life of just fucking, my own thoughts, my mind. Gertie's over here snoring like crazy. She's all fucking bundled up. Anyway, so this BlackBerry movie's great. And I had not heard about it at all. I recommend it. It's on Amazon, and it's fantastic. It's about these couple of nerds that invent the fucking BlackBerry, and then they become, complete fucking evil monsters because their obsession of power and corporate money and there was one guy that's obsessed with being the best phone ever, and everything is an obsession, egos and everything. It's a great fucking film. The acting is amazing. The thing that blew me away the most was the soundtrack. This is a small movie, and to get songs in your movie, it costs a lot of money. So I'm wondering how they got all these great songs. I wrote them down. Hold on. They got Joy Division, Love Will Tear You Apart. They got The Strokes, Someday. They got Hello Operator by the White Stripes. They got Waterloo Sunset by the Kinks. And on and on and on. But just those 4 songs. Oh, they got an MC Hammer song in there. It's fucking crazy how much amazing music they got in this film. So I recommend it a lot, the Blackberry film. And man, anyway, I'm still high as fuck from the garden. I'm not going to forget that. And I can't thank Bill enough for just making that dream come true, man. This guy is a fucking just a golden friend. And he is just an amazing comedian. To be able to watch him every night, I get to watch a goddamn black belt up there every night, and I learn from fucking Bill Burr. I'm watching him. I'm like, yeah. And it doesn't get old. I don't go fucking hang out somewhere while he's on. I don't go fucking eat dinner or whatever. I sit on the side of the stage and I watch the set, and I watch how he changes it every night. I watch where he ad-libs stuff, where he changes, where he tweaks the set. He's constantly keeping himself, entertained by trying stuff. Like, it's unbelievable. And he has some of the bits in this new hour are just unreal. So looking forward to him shooting his new special, and you guys seeing it if you haven't seen it live. And I'm looking forward to going to the MGM for Formula One this weekend. That's going to be insane. I last saw Formula One in Austin, Texas, around 6 years ago, and it is radical. Which, by the way, I'm ready to see this Ferrari movie that Adam Driver is starring as Enzo Ferrari, coming out in December. I am ready for this. I love Adam Driver, and I love Ferrari, and I love the history of racing. So I am ready to see this fucking film. Adam Driver really reminds me, when I'm in New York, of that TV show Girls, which I absolutely loved, and I always shout it out still to this day. And which, by the way, I saw Judd Apatow at the Cellar. And I'm going to get to my Cellar story in a minute here. But I saw Judd, and it always reminds me of, New York, Williamsburg, and, the fucking kind of the ground zero of the hipster revolution was that TV show. And the breakout star is Adam Driver. This guy has done nothing but incredible fucking films. He crushed it. Darth Vader action, Star Wars. He crushes it in, what was he in? He was in that fucking, oh man, I think he played a Nazi in a film. Anyway, that one he did with Scarlett Johansson, the divorce one, it is fantastic, that film. And he's one of the great actors now. He is one of the go-to killers. It's him, Brad Pitt, and Leo, I think, are the great actors of our generation right now. And Joaquin Phoenix. These fucking guys always deliver. Always. So I'm ready to see that Ferrari comes out. Back to my Cellar story. And this is how comedy works, my friends. I will tell you exactly. The comedy gods operate in a different way. So I did the Garden on Friday night. Then Saturday, I had 5 spots. It's the New York Comedy Festival going on right now. 5 spots. I did one in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Art House. Jack Fink, shout out to you, my man, for getting me on there. Then I did 2 at the Stand, which is fucking golden. Patrick over there hooking me up. 8:30 at the Stand, and then I did a 10:45 at the Stand. Then I went to the Cellar, and I did 11:45 and a 12:10 spot. 5 spots on Saturday night, running around the city after Jaws, having the time of my fucking life. Then Esty, the booker, puts me on for 4 shows on Sunday at the Cellar. The first one is at 2:00, the brunch show. And I show up, I'm ready to go on. I notice I'm on first on the brunch. Now, I had only done the brunch show one time in my life. I've done the Cellar hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows, okay? And I have never had a bad set at the Cellar. And some of the sets I've had there have been over the fucking top in my career. For me, just like, wow, man, magic spots. And it's one of the great, great, great rooms, like the Comedy Store or the Stand or Denver Comedy Works. There's these rooms that are iconic and legendary and prestigious. And it's an honor to work in them anytime you can. And so anyway, I'm doing the 2:00, and I go downstairs to get ready. Marcus is there, Price, to take some pictures. And I'm fired up. And right when I'm getting ready to go on, Esty comes down, the booker. I'm like, oh, no. He's coming down to watch. And while the host is on, I notice the crowd is a little stiff. I'm like, oh, I'm all right. I'm still fucking high from the 5 sets I did last night that killed. And the Garden and the run of the last fucking couple months. I hadn't bombed in a few months. And I will tell you this. You're going to fucking bomb, and anybody that doesn't bomb is just fucking playing it safe at all times. Even the best bomb, Burr, Chappelle, all of the best will bomb. They'll have an off night, or they're just trying shit and they're trying to find it. And then there's kind of these epic bombs, and I've got the new nickname. Ian called and nicknamed me the Brunch Bomber, because it's the brunch show at the Cellar. It starts at 2:00 on a Sunday. And it's usually loaded with tourists. They got their fucking face and pancakes and shit. Anyway, the host is on. The crowd's a little stiff. Somebody's fucking phone goes off, and the phones are in those locked bags. So it's just like, boop, 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 boop. Now you got to get out of the room and open the fucking bag, So he brings me up, and right when I go on, the fucking phone goes off again. Now, let me tell you something. These are not excuses. I bombed. I will take the fucking bomb, and that's how it is. And, but I will say this. People eating pancakes and a cell phone going off is going to be a recipe for disaster right at the top, and then having edgy material at 2 PM. And, but I'm not going to fucking change my style just because I'm doing the brunch show. I always find that you'll get a few people, like when you do benefits, those are always fucking awkward. You're still going to be who you are. That's who they fucking booked. And, and you'll usually get 2 or 3 fans that'll email you after, like, that crowd sucked, man. I loved your bits. All right. And yeah, that was the old thing. Bill Hicks always said, play to the highest IQ in the room, or, don't change, just fucking lay into it. So I get up there and I start bombing. And when you start bombing, your brain starts to go like, oh, this ain't going good. And usually around 90% of the time, you can get yourself out of it with a bit that is 100% going to kill no matter what the audience is. So I switch into this other bit, and I know this is going to kill, and it goes like medium. And I'm like, wow. I'm fucked now because I don't know what I can get going here. Now I'm bombing so bad that I'm trying to fucking even remember jokes. And I know Estee's over there and I look and she's gone. So you're fucked. You're just fucked. You know what I mean? It's not like the Comedy Store where they're like, yeah, you bombed. You know what I mean? There's a feeling at the Cellar where if you're not killing all the time, you're just out. You're never, ever truly in unless you're a superstar. That's how I feel at the Cellar. I never felt the freedom of just whipping out notes or riffing or, you know, or fucking around there. I'm not at that status. Now, you know, look, I respect the Cellar to the fullest. That's why I cared and was trying to fix it. And I did kind of pull it off towards the end. I got off and it got good. There was a couple of comics in the hall and they're like, that was fucking, I like that one bit. I'm like, dude, I just bombed. I went upstairs and I saw Esty there sitting at the table. And I said, fuck, that went bad. And she wouldn't even talk to me. She just turned her fucking shoulder like that. And I was like, oh, all right, you know? And I already feel awful. You don't need to turn your shoulder at me and fucking make me feel awful. You know, I get it. It didn't go good. I went on it too. And the crowd didn't like it. But that night I came back and I came back like fucking, you know, I got knocked out at 2 and I go, fuck this. I fucking just did the Garden. I've been on tour for years. I know how to do this. And I went back and I'm telling you, man, I had, what was it? 3 of the greatest sets I've ever had in New York. And the last one, the last set of the night, these were all at the Cellar, was so fucking electric. I went on after Todd Barry, who is one of the great comedians. Todd Barry, if you don't know him, 36 years in the game. He has a new special out right now on YouTube. You think these kids on fucking TikTok with their crowd work, where are you from? What do you do for a living? You know, are you single? That crowd work? No. This is Todd Barry crowd work that is fucking next level. And he has a brand new special on YouTube right now. So go see it and follow him on Instagram. Anyway, I went on after him. He is, to me, he's kind of like a Bob Newhart, dry, monotonous, really cool style. I love his style and he loves great music and he's fucking funny. He killed it all the time on that TV show, Louie. Anyway, I went on after him and I probably had the best set I've ever fucking had at the Comedy Cellar in my life. I was fucking melting people, man. And it felt so good. Of course, Esty wasn't there, you know, but it would be nice if she maybe whipped up one of the videos and went, yeah, he had a bad set. Everybody does. He's killing here now. And the great Val there, the night manager, when I got off, she's like, oh, yeah, you feel good now, huh? I go, fuck yeah, man. Because I was bummed on the bombing. I didn't fucking take that lightly. It's an honor to be a paid regular at the Comedy Store and the Cellar and the Stand and Denver. These clubs mean the world to me, you know? I don't take it light, so you don't need to fucking, you know, go cold on me. I'm already fucking feeling like shit. But I feel great now, and I don't really I just fucking brush that off as like, hey, I'm not a fucking brunch comic. The sun is out. The people are eating pancakes. I was barely awake because I'd been out all fucking night the night before doing spots. I was barely awake. I'd never done comedy at 2:05 in the afternoon. 14 years in, almost 6,000 spots. I did a show at 2:05 p.m. Anyway, from smashing at the Garden to bombing at the Cellar. That's how comedy works, man. It constantly fucking puts you back on the ground right away and goes, hey, Don't be floating around like you're fucking great. You're doing the work, but you're never going to be done with the work. And that's what the comedy gods let you know. I want to thank all of you for just fucking supporting my Patreon and this podcast and my live comedy. And I'm looking forward to 2024. I can't wait to get out there on the road and try to work on these new bits, man. I'm going to start talking about my mom and honor my mom in the new hour and just give her the proper love. I miss her. And I love all you guys. Thank you so much. I want to give a quick shout out to Tommy Quark. He came down. Tommy flew in from Chicago, a Patreoner and a friend, and he's moving to Ireland. He flew in. And then Pat MC came. He's a Patreoner. Shout out to him. And also Steve McDonald. He went out. My oldest friend who played guitar in my band, who had never been to New York. He's about to turn 60. And also shout out to Keith Robinson, who has always been fucking by my side and always had my back in the comedy world. He is one of my mentors, and I love him. Catch him December 19th at Sony Hall, shooting his Netflix special. Get your tickets now. The link is in my stories right now, or go to sonyhall.com in New York and go see Keith Robinson shoot this Netflix special. I opened for him last Monday in New York, and his new hour is fucking amazing. This man has had 2 strokes. He is up there with one of the funniest hours I've ever seen, and he is as real as it fucking gets. And shout out to all the Comedy Cellar comics. It was great to be there and hang out and see those guys again. You know who was there? Jimmy Carr. It was great to see Jimmy Carr, hang out with him. Noam, the owner, I shot the shit with him for a while. They bought that McDonald's next to the Fat Black Pussycat. They're going to make another Comedy Cellar. Unbelievable. I've never seen a McDonald's go out of business ever. And he bought it. So he's going to have the whole block in New York of comedy. It's going to be amazing, man, if they still let me work there. Who knows? Which, by the way, I will be at the Comedy Cellar in Las Vegas in January. And those tour dates are up on the website, I believe. And that's in the middle of January, 7 nights at the Comedy Cellar. All right. I'm going to get out of here. And I hope you guys have a great week. Keep the candles lit. Check out the patreon.com/Dean Del Rey for bonus episodes. I'll be putting one up this week and live Zooms. And also check out the merchandise. The holidays are coming. Get your merchandise. Once again, most important, thank you, Bill Burr. I absolutely love you, man. We have had some amazing times together. Keep the candles lit, my friends.